Welcome to Reaching World Podcast, where we highlight the world's largest network of influencers for good, love, and service. Join us in saying thank you to these incredible individuals and organizations by listening, subscribing, and sharing their legacies. And by doing this together, we will help inspire others to leave their legacy of service and love. I'm your host, Zach Garner.
Again, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Reaching World. My name's Jack, and I'll be recording today for Zach, who unfortunately had to step out due to medical reasons. But don't worry, he'll be back for next week's episode. Today, I had the pleasure of talking with one of the youngest patent holders in U.S. history. Trip Phillips and his father, Lee, explained the genius behind their invention, Glue, a product which allows for you to stick and unstick Lego bricks together as you please. You might have also recognized them from ABC's hit show, Shark Tank. If you would like to purchase their product, it can be found at leglue.com. That's le-glue.com, or you can pursue their product on Amazon. One last time, I'd like to really thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get to the episode. All right, sweet. I'm here with Lee and Philip, the father-son duo, the people in charge of making Glue. So can you guys tell me real quick what the product's about?
It's a water-soluble glue for building bricks like Legos or Mega Blocks. You just put a little bit on, a little dab will do you, is what we say, and let it cure for 24 hours, and it makes the bond 10 times stronger whenever you play with it. So it will still come apart, but it makes it way harder, and you can still play with it.
That's awesome. I love it. And how'd you come up with this idea?
In third grade, as a class assignment, we could either write a paper or come up with an invention, and no 9-year-old really wants to write an essay. So I went home and asked my dad, how in the world do I come up with an invention? And he said it was simple. Just identify a problem and then find a solution to fix it. So that's what I did. I was in my room playing with a Delta airplane that was made out of Legos, and whenever I do a takeoff, the wing would pop off. And then I ran into my dad's room and told him that I finally had the idea. We need something to hold these bricks together, but not permanently like super glue does.
Lee, you mind me asking, when your son came to you with this invention, what was your first reaction?
You know, I was quite stunned because the conversation we had was about 20 minutes from the point I told him to come up with an idea to the time he came back. So, you know, the speed of thinking of something, you know, kind of got me off guard. And then I got to thinking about it, and I said, I don't think anything like that exists. So I started actually searching the patent office website to see if I could find, you know, releasable adhesives, you know, for building blocks, and there was none. So I really kind of got excited at that point, and we started working on, you know, maybe even trying to create it the next couple of days so that he could turn some in for his project.
Perfect. And how'd you guys go about creating it?
Well, I'm in the textile testing industry here in Dalton. You said you're from Atlanta. Dalton's the carpet capital of the world. More floor covering comes through Dalton than anywhere in the world. So you got to glue it down. So I have a bunch of connectivity with people like 3M and Advanced Adhesive Technologies, glue folks. So I went to them with the concept and some thought processes, and they helped guide me into what chemistries we might look at as options. So really in about 3 days, we had a working formula.
And then, so when did you guys, after coming up with the idea, how long did it take to release the product?
Well, what happened was his teacher from the classroom assignment entered him into a international contest, and he ended up winning the thing. So once he won it, and it was kind of a big deal, we realized it really probably was a better idea than I even thought. That's when we started to work on producing the glue, and I'll let Trip tell you how we did that from that point forward.
So we basically just made it in gigantic 5-gallon buckets like you'd find at Home Depot, put them in our living room, and sat down and watched football on a Sunday, and took 2-ounce makeup containers and just took a dinner spoon and scooped them in and hand labeled them, hand tightened them. Everything was by hand, and we could do maybe 50 an hour on a great day.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It was pretty
labor
difficult.
intensive.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Watching football, making glue, sounds horrible. And that brings up the question, when creating this, was there any obstacles that you guys had to face, especially when bringing it to market?
Paying for a patent was the biggest struggle, in my opinion, because those things are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to protect my IP because my dad knows how bad it feels to have your idea stolen. And we felt it was worthwhile to go through the process and the price. But I am one of the youngest patent holders in U.S. history, by like one of the youngest.
He was about 6 months short of being the youngest at that particular time.
Wow. And how does that make you feel? Has the fame got to you yet?
I try not to think about it, but it's pretty cool.
At what point did Shark Tank come into the picture?
Yeah, we were selling online. We built our own website, started selling, you know, on several platforms, e-commerce platforms, just to kind of see if the proof of concept would, people would understand. And Trips always loved Shark Tank 4-year-old, and he's always loved Kevin O'Leary. And one of my clients came in from 3M and said, hey, there's an open call in Atlanta this weekend. So I called Tripp, said, you want to go try it? He's like, heck yeah. So that's how it started. Tripp, you can tell him about your experience and what you did there.
The live call was really fun because we just pitched in front of the producers, but the real deal, it was pretty surreal getting there and realizing we were actually in front of the real people that we'd watched for years and years and never thought we were going to be on that stage up until now.
We actually went to a Shark Tank open call to interview some people, and we just saw countless businesses and people with such good ideas and get turned down.
Yeah, there was like 500 people there.
They told us at the...
Well, 500 people at that one.
Yeah. They told us at the actual taping that there were 31,000 applicants, live call and via paper, that had applied, and basically about 100 make it. So you're already in pretty rare air there with 100 out of 31,000. And only about 40 of those will even get a deal. So basically 40 out of 31,000 is the odds of getting a deal on Shark Tank.
True. That's amazing, bro. Congratulations. Well, congratulations to the both of you.
Thank you.
That's very accomplishing. And so what's the next move? What's your next plan? Do you think you'll continue on this entrepreneurial journey?
Well, we just went to the New York Toy Fair and met up with some Lego people. So hopefully we'll be able to do business with them soon.
And how has sales been since Shark Tank?
They've been really good.
Yeah, we had kind of a double hit. They showed our episode twice, which was really good for us. Plus, it aired in the Thanksgiving arena the second time, so people are looking to shop. We actually did more in December of this year than we had done total almost all other years combined. So it's been a good uptick. It slows down after mid-January because it's just not toy season anymore. But we're ramping up now for looking at some retail outlets, smaller toy stores. We're not really looking into the Walmart, Target side yet, just because we would rather service some of the smaller entities first. But that's the play. And then Mr. Wonderful is working for us to try to work on some licensing deal with one of the big brick manufacturers. Tripp's vision, if you watch the Shark Tank episode, he told Mr. Wonderful he wants to be in every kit that Lego makes. There's only 90 million of those sold every year, so that'd be a pretty good hit.
That'd be an insane hit. And do you think that's possible?
He did, or I don't think he would have thrown out the money.
I love that mindset. A bunch of people I talk to every single day, lots of entrepreneurs, they all have that same exact, like they shoot for the stars. And I would say continue doing that because you wouldn't believe what's possible until you do it.
You are correct. Yeah. And Tripp gives speeches a lot to schools and even up to older people in Rotary and universities. He's probably given 30, 35 speeches since Shark Tank, inspiring people to do just exactly what you say. He throws a couple of taglines out there. You can't ever meet a goal if you don't set one, and you can't ever have a dream come true if you never dream. And we believe that's the reason he's been successful is because he's pushed towards that. It's not easy. It seems easy looking back. You've accomplished all this stuff, but he really worked hard. I mean, he practiced his pitch for Shark Tank probably 50 hours. So success seems easy till you look back and see how hard the journey was.
And Tripp, where'd you develop this mindset, man? Like a lot of adults can't even seem to think that way. Like, where is this all coming from?
My dad just talks to me about it and instills it in my brain because he has it in his, so he kind of passes it down.
He's very naturally creative, and his ability to speak to people exceeds mine. When we were at the toy fair, I don't know if you've ever been to the Javits Center, but it's about 6 blocks long. It's a huge event, and there were 30-something thousand people coming through there. If I ever shut up and let him talk, he sold the product. He did a much better job. So he's got some natural ability there in the salesmanship.
Maybe because I'm not a creepy old man.
Maybe not.
And this is actually something I'm just a little curious about. Tripp, do you plan on going to college and everything like that?
My mom says I have to. Personally, I don't want to, but I think I probably have to as well because it would benefit me greatly if I ever wanted to do anything else.
And do you want to do anything else?
Maybe eventually, but for now, I'm going to stick with this. I would definitely get something in business, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with your God-given talent so far.
Yes, sir.
I'm very impressed. Like, is the ultimate goal for Lego to pick you guys up?
That is correct.
Yeah, and we've actually discussed, there's been a couple smaller manufacturers. There's multiple manufacturers of brick that have also expressed interest to us, and we may go that route first with, trying a small, not jumping off the bridge all at once, just to see how it works again. So the good news is because of the way we've paid for everything as we've gone along, we're in no hurry to have to do anything. Tripp's in the black by far. So that is positive from the business standpoint. His margins were the best ever quoted on Shark Tank that we've ever seen. We've probably watched every episode more than once. We've never seen anybody that high. So he's in a good position whether or not Lego ever comes on board.
It is so impressive. And how long do you think this whole journey took you guys from start to now?
The contest was in 3rd grade, and I'm in 7th grade now, but we really started at 4th grade to 5th grade, started selling it.
That's so cool. I remember as a kid playing with Legos and thinking, actually, it'd be so cool if I could glue these together, but I didn't want to lose them. And I'm jealous of my kids because I'm sure one day they'll be able to use this and put theirs together and not have the problems that I did.
They will have a solution.
And that's what I like about entrepreneurship. This is something I wish I had as a kid, and I'm grateful that kids nowadays will get to have this because it'll make their lives, even if it's a minuscule bit better, it'll make their lives better. They'll remember it.
And he built this to play. A lot of people build Legos to display or, more of a permanent issue. Tripp's idea was he never wanted to destroy the brick, making it permanent, but he did want to be able to bounce around on a couch with his airplane without it falling apart. So the genius of it is the non-permanency, like Tripp likes to say when he's selling it, the magic is when you soak it in water, it comes apart like new again. So, it's a simplistic idea, but it's deeper than you think because he wanted it to come back apart.
That's the genius behind this is because, no one's been able to do that except for you guys, or no one's even pursued it, which is awesome. You found a niche and you're exploring it and you're succeeding. And that's what we like to kind of preach here on this podcast is find a niche, you're the expert in it, and then just go with it. And that's usually how people find success.
That is correct.
Absolutely. Okay, and I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. I'm going to ask one last question, and then we'll head out of here. And this is for both you, Lee, and Tripp. If you guys could have a billboard, which everyone in the world could see, what would you guys put on it?
Well, probably, I don't know.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking philosophically or business, there's 2 different answers.
We asked that question in hopes that, something that you've taken out of your journey, like a number one lesson that you would have liked to know before you guys went on this endeavor, that you could teach people or, show people a little shortcut.
Yeah, selfishly, we'd put www.leglu.com. If you're talking about, a statement, Tripp understands this as good as anybody, and he speaks, like I said, to inspire folks. So, one of the things he says is dream, create, and invent. That's a pretty good billboard.
Yeah, that is.
Or, as I tell him all the time, always be looking for a solution.
Problem solver.
I love it, guys, and I love the attitude. I did not expect this going on this call to hear such, motivating words. That's very impressive.
We enjoy motivating, and one of the things that we've seen here locally, we can't go to the grocery store or to a restaurant without school without somebody saying, "Hey, I've got an invention. What do you think about this?" Mm-hmm. Well, that shows us we created some inspiration that now they're thinking about how to solve a problem.
This is kind of funny. Are any of those guys' ideas, are they any good most of the time?
We had one guy in New York that I don't think knew about Leglu, but he had a pretty good idea.
I'm going to tell you that there's some merit in almost all of them. They might not be in the right place yet. I've got several inventions, and so I understand the failures and the successes. But I will say all of them have at least a portional value to them, and some of them have been pretty decent. I've actually encouraged one of them to get a patent or looking to getting a patent because I think it's a pretty good idea.
I like how your attitudes on patents too. I think they're also very important to have, especially today's day and age. Everyone's just looking to copy.
That is correct.
I only asked that question because I do stand-up comedy, and a lot of people come and go, "Hey, you should say this on stage," and most of the time it's a horrible joke. So I was wondering if you guys knew what that's like.
It might be harder to make good jokes than to make inventions. It's harder than you think. I know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thank you.
These episodes will be launched on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you'd like someone to be on the podcast, if you think there's someone in your network that should be recognized for the good they are doing in the world, please reach out to us and send us a direct message. We can be found at Reaching World Podcast on Facebook.com. So be sure to find us there, like our page, and submit any ideas or suggestions of individuals or organizations that should be highlighted on this podcast.